My name is Brandon Benitez, and in my presentation, I will be going over how the differences between two earthquakes in Mexico show how technology has improved. When it comes to the research question I ended up deciding to do how do the two earthquakes in Mexico in the years 1985 and 2017 show how technology has improved and how earthquakes have been handled over the past 40 years. And on the picture on the left, it is showcasing damages from 1985, and on the picture on the right, it is showcasing damages from 2017. Now, to start looking over the data, we start with the map of the 1985 Mexico City earthquake, and it tells us a lot of information, including the magnitude, date, and location. It then continues to tell us the surrounding cities, gives us the fault lines, subduction zones, and it tells us where the epicenter was. Similar information is shown from the maps from the 2017 earthquakes in both Puebla and Mexico. The first map tells us the date, time, magnitude, and depth, also showing us the epicenter, while also providing the intensity of the earthquake. And the one specifically showing the Puebla, Mexico earthquake gives us information such as peak velocity, peak acceleration, and potential damage caused. When it comes to the data I used to compare both of these earthquakes, through various research methods, I was able to locate and identify important pieces of information that showcase how much technology has improved in being able to handle earthquakes. I used multiple government websites and other outside resources such as graphs and charts that were credited at the end of the PowerPoint. To be more specific, I used websites such as the USGS government website and the NIST government website to help me reach my conclusions. When it comes to the data I found through research regarding the 1985 Mexico City earthquake, I was able to find that it had a magnitude of 8.1. More than 400 buildings collapsed and thousands were damaged. The shaking lasted 3 minutes. 10,000 people died and 30,000 were injured. Also, 250,000 people were left without a shelter. Residents and people affected by the earthquake initially had to help themselves, and the data recorded provides very simple information. Now, when it comes to the data I found through research regarding the 2017 Puebla earthquake, I was able to find that it had a magnitude of 7.1. It came a few weeks after an earthquake that also hit 8.1 magnitude, and it left 90 people dead. This time there were early calculations that helped estimate who would feel that damages, and they were also able to determine how many aftershocks there were after the earthquake. It destroyed 44 buildings. There were 225 deaths. It only lasted a minute. There were multiple resources of outside help that immediately assisted people following the event. There were many funds set up to help the people affected by it, and the data provided is much more advanced and tells us a lot more specific information. When it comes to comparing the data from these two earthquakes, there was a lot of differences that I decided to take into account. These were that in 2017 there was a significantly less death toll, even though there was two different earthquakes. There was immediate relief. How many people would be affected by the earthquake was predicted. And even though the negative numbers improved, it is still important to note that the earthquake was weaker in 2017 and the shaking also lasted a shorter period of time. Regardless, I still believe that technology played a big role in improving the numbers by minimizing the damages. And the data reported from 2017 is much more advanced than the data from 1985. When it comes to the method I used in this research project, I would say that I did a lot of comparing and contrasting. I did this by finding a lot of different data from comparing charts and graphs, death tolls, and damage caused, and how fast additional help came to relieve people from the earthquake. And by comparing and contrasting all this data from these two earthquakes, I feel like it is fair to assume that technology has done a lot of good. When it comes to the results that I have found through all this research, it helped me make 3 determinations. They were that technology has helped improve the ability to predict when earthquakes happen, which is why damage and casualties have gone down significantly. Technology has improved and helped people to be able to provide relief faster and save a lot more lives and provide shelter. And lastly, technology has improved the way we track and record information, which has helped us obtain more specific data and can help us better predict earthquakes and provide help. To elaborate more on the results that I was provided from the data from various websites to help me come up with the conclusions that I made. One example that helps to prove this is how the 2017 earthquake in Puebla noted how there was early estimations on how many people would be affected by the earthquakes. This helps show how technology has improved, and it is now able to provide warnings to people, which is directly correlated to the death toll and casualties being smaller. The data from the websites also showed me that technology has improved the ability for help to be given to people. In the 1985 earthquake, the people affected were reliant on the government for help, which were hesitant to provide help at first, leading to them having to lead their own help groups. In 2017, it was much more different as there were many outside organizations that helped provide instant relief to victims. Improvement in technology definitely helped this happen as information was more quickly given to these relief groups. Lastly, I was able to find that improvements in the quality of data recorded has only greatly improved, as information provided from the 1985 earthquake is very limited to just basic seismographics and estimated economic damage. From the 2017 earthquake, not only do we have the same basic information such as seismographs and estimated economic damages, we also have charts and graphs to show us things such as the rise of the water levels and how much damage is done specifically to every building. This shows remarkable improvements in technology, and this information is what leads to us being more prepared than ever for earthquakes. To help prove this, I have provided some graphs from the 1985 earthquake. As you can see, it helps provide us with a lot of basic information such as the damage cost and people injured, while also giving us simple seismographs. Now, when compared to results from 2017 graphs, not only do we have the same basic information such as seismographs and damage caused, but now we are provided with more graphs to show us things such as the rise in water level, specific damage caused to parts of buildings, and the number of aftershocks following certain earthquakes. To summarize the findings of my research, I was able to find a lot of sufficient information and data from both of the high magnitude earthquakes in Mexico from 1985 and 2017, and using this information to compare and contrast the aftermaths and data collection from both. I was able to answer my research question of how did the two earthquakes in Mexico in the years 1985 and 2017 show how technology has improved and how earthquakes have been handled over the past 40 years. Through comparing the data, I saw clear improvements in all facets, including improvements in recording information to help predict earthquakes, sending out help to earthquake locations faster, and finding more advanced data related to earthquakes. And through this study, I feel like it is fair to determine that technology has played a huge role in this being able to happen. We have now reached the end of my presentation. Here are my works cited, and thank you for spending this time listening to my presentation. Thank you.